Hey, welcome and what is up, everybody? It is Crunch Time, sponsored by Fanduel. We're taking you up to lock, and then we've got a split lock thing happening, so we're going to take you through lock. We're going to talk some Fanduel, some DK. This is the show where we are joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. One, Mr. Cheese is good. The man's so nice, he won the Millie twice. What up, Cheese?
I don't know. I don't think much. What's up with you?
It's one of those slates. We got one slate that's got a game on it. The other slate doesn't have a game on it. And then we got more slates. I assume tonight. That's probably a thing.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. In fact, I don't just assume so.
Seems likely. Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you kind of guide us through the process here, both on FanDuel and DK. We got TJ joining us as well. TJ, what's happening up in Canada, my man?
A lot is happening. It's been a big week for the Agents of Fandom. I was at the Calgary Expo last week doing tons of interviews, and then Guardians of the Galaxy releases this weekend, and one of our people was at the Canadian premiere and got to interview the main villain, as well as Sean Gunn, who is James Gunn, the director's brother, and a couple characters in the movie as well. So that was pretty big, exciting. I'm supposed to go tomorrow night, but I have COVID, and so it's been a tough week. I'm assuming I picked it up at the expo. Feel better today. I was dying yesterday, but I feel a lot better today. And I'm hoping tomorrow I can test negative and mask up and go. But if not, I might have to delay it a couple days.
Okay, fingers crossed. Speedy recovery to you. We do have K-Town's Finest that says, the Spidey Demon himself, thank you for the Bichette call the other day, plus 400. And then he adds, you all three are the men. Let's do it.
Let's get it. I got first Spidey bomb coming. I think it's a nice early morning slate. Let's go 30 likes.
Okay, 30 likes. That's easy. I feel we should keep it low. People kind of trickling in here on this split slate. Should note that this show is sponsored by FanDuel. That is why it is free. That's why you're getting to watch it without having to pay right now. And we ask that your currency is a little thumbs up button there on YouTube. Go ahead, click that for us. We'd appreciate it. Make sure you sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook as well. If you're in a legal sports betting state, take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions do apply. Fantastic things happening over on our sponsor site, FanDuel. And speaking of which, Cheese, I do believe it is FanDuel that locks first and locks in like 15 minutes.
It is on its way. And we got 5 games on FanDuel versus the 4 on DK, adding in this first Mets-Tigers game, which does add some pretty useful offense on the FanDuel slate with the Mets.
Okay, I do have to give a quick little weather update. If there is going to be a delay in this first set of games, it would come in that first Detroit game. Is there a pitcher there that we are salivating over?
No. Like someone somewhere is probably playing Joe Lucchesi, but you do not need a pitcher there, and it's very low on the totem pole.
Okay, and if you are that someone somewhere and it's a tournament and you're not like 100%, then I'm still okay with it. It's not like I'm certain a delay is coming. It's just the only game where you have a chance of that happening. Okay, well, with that out of the way, with the weather out of the way, let's kind of dive into it. Cheese, you want to give us an overview of the slate, or you can just dive right in to the pitching?
Yeah, I mean, the quick overview is even with the weird lineup with, it's not that weird, Manny Machado being out for the Padres, it's like the Padres are the very clear, obvious offense. It's like we have a tier of its own of one team, and then a bunch of pretty good pitching everywhere else, with the exception of you can throw in the Mets on FanDuel for offense. But basically, it's a bunch of pitching and Padres. That's the slate overview.
Okay, I'm a little upset because I'm pretty sure, did I not just see Ohtani, or am I making that up?
That's tonight.
We'll still get to talk about him.
Okay, excellent, good.
Yeah, so we'll when we see you later, we will talk all things Ohtani.
Good. Okay, that's all. That brightens my day, so I'm glad to hear that. Let's just dive into the pitching right now. And Cheese, if there's anything you feel we need to get out and across before FanDuel lock, we can kind of address that first as well.
Yeah, we'll talk pitching and then we'll talk FanDuel hitting, just because the Mets add enough into it. But on the pitching side, far and away the best option is Framber Valdez. He is expensive, but as usual, like on FanDuel, there's so many cheap bats that are really good, that are like under $3,000. It's weird how easy it is to fit Valdez. So he's still the chalk. And then some mix of Lugo, Heaney, Webb, and Nola are all kind of clumped together as the next guy. I lean towards Webb and Lugo out of those two. But for the most part, I want to get up to Valdez. And then if you need a bunch of salary, Gavin Stone is totally viable. He's a guy that's risky as a rookie, but he has a lot of strikeout ability and he's cheap. I think he's more useful on DK, but he is playable on FanDuel.
Okay. And like that name gives me hope. Like Gavin Stone.
Great name.
I trust that dude.
He's the stone nuts, as they say.
You're right. I feel like he's got good things. Let's kick it over to DK and then we'll get TJ's thoughts, both FanDuel and DK. You need 2 pitchers on DraftKings, and it looks like your boy Valdez is highlighted and tagged quite a bit as well.
Yeah, so it's a little harder to fit Valdez unless you're willing to play Gavin Stone on DK, which I am. So I think Valdez Stone would be sort of if I was playing cash, I would play Valdez and Stone.
Like $5K over there, Stone.
Yeah, so that's a big difference.
Yeah.
But, Valdez at 10.5 is a much bigger gap between him and that next group of Lugo, Heaney, Webb, and Nola, who are all very good, regardless of matchup. I see all the tags on Heaney, and he's got the lowest price. So if Heaney is the chalk, he's the very definition of bad chalk to me against a low strikeout team. But he does have the most points per dollar upside of that group as well. So I understand why he's popular. Same with Seth Lugo. Like Lugo has the best matchup of this group. But to me, Webb and Nola are better pitchers than Lugo and Heaney. So even in tougher matchups, just give me the lower owned, better pitchers.
Sure.
And that's kind of the layout. But officially, it ended up what I said in the musings, that I'm very close to a straight up even mix of Lugo, Heaney, Webb, and Nola. About 25% on each of them. But where I can get Valdez, that's what I'm doing, which means Valdez and Stone is my go-to combo.
Okay, so if you're 25% on Lugo, Heaney, Webb, and Nola, then what is Stone and Valdez like 50%? And is that mean playing everybody except
correct?
Cesar?
Yes, I'm playing absolutely everybody except Louis Cesar.
Okay, very good. TJ, let's bring you into the mix here. What are your thoughts on pitcher? You can start a FanDuel or DK, but I'm interested like what the tournament approach here is.
I really don't have too much to add, unfortunately. Like on FanDuel, where you do have some cheaper bats and the price discount between Valdez and Lugo, like down to 9.5, it's not all that big. I do just like paying up for Framber Valdez. My favorite tournament one, same as Cheese, coming in at sub 15% ownership on FanDuel, is Logan Webb. And then I think I do like Lucchesi a little bit better if we were allowed to play that one based on weather. I'd be willing to take some shots there in tournaments, but it's not that big of a deal. Like Valdez is number one if I was playing a single entry or a cash game there. And then Webb would be my favorite larger field tournament option. On DraftKings, like I too am playing everybody but Sessa. Heaney and Nola, I both only have about 15% of. I'm not getting very much of either of them today. Stone, Lugo, Webb, all in the 30 to 45% range. And then Framber Valdez, I have in 60% of my 150 lineups today. 3 likes away from the first Spidey Bomb. If we can get up to 50 likes, I got a second Spidey Bomb for us. I know 3 people are going to click that like button right now, so I'll dish out the first one. It's Christian Walker for Arizona. I really like targeting Heaney today, not as the pitcher, but as the bat with the bats. And so Arizona is probably going to be my second or third favorite stack on this early slate behind San Diego and the Dodgers. And Walker is one of my favorite one-offs.
Okay. Cheese nodding in agreement. I do believe he likes that call. In fact, dancing in agreement and jubilation.
Yeah. If you live in Canada and have COVID, I don't even think you need to be waking up reading the musings. But if you had, you would have heard me say, other than San Diego, Christian Walker is my favorite bat on the slate.
Hey,
I did, and I actually had the Spidey Bomb selected before that, so that really,
it's great.
Really affirmed things for me today.
Very good.
Yeah, Walker's a fantastical play. Love
okay,
it.
well, Cheese, let's talk about some of those plays that we can do on FanDuel. We're about 6-7 minutes from FanDuel lock, and you got as much time as we need to get through DK. But kind of walk me through what's different on FanDuel, and if you want, we can start going position by position.
Yeah, so essentially it's Pete Alonso. is what's different on FanDuel. Like he's right there with that group of best overall bats. And I think you're going to want to consider doing 2 first baseman lineups with Alonso and Walker because Walker's cheap. But then also we do have like Starling Marte is basically free on FanDuel. Very useful, even if you're not stacking the Mets. I think an outfielder like him for 2,600 is playable. I'm certainly fine. Like Francisco Lindor, quite playable, but still not like my favorite shortstop. But Tatis is going to be like the mega chalk at 3,800. So Lindor being 200 less, like you're getting sneaky if that's what you want to do. But essentially, what's different is Alonso and Marte, and then the Mets probably are the overall second best stack. But it's pretty much a jumbled mess after San Diego.
Okay, TJ, is there anything else you want to add that is different on FanDuel that we should touch upon before we just go position by position in general?
Nothing in particular. Like Pete Alonso is one of my favorite individual plays on the slate. I do like a Mets stack in general, but very similar. Like I would rank the Mets in that same tier that I viewed the Dodgers and Arizona today, and then they still fall behind San Diego for me.
Okay, very good. Guys, let's dive into it. We'll go around the horn, and TJ, you get the honor of starting us off with a little catcher talk.
All right, let's do it. Catcher today, we did just lose Gabriel Moreno as the Arizona lineup came out, and he was one of my favorite catchers today, so that's going to be something I'm going to have to adjust. Will Smith is undoubtedly my favorite catcher on the slate. Brett Sullivan, I don't want to play, but he's on the Padres, so he's going to be in my Padres stacks. Jonah Heim is probably my second favorite option individually behind Smith. And then outside of that, like Stubbs, Maldonado, Stevenson, and then Herrera is the starting catcher for Arizona. It's just going to be in stacks for me.
Okay. Jeez.
I mean, obviously Will Smith's top guy, but against Nola, and you only have a few spends, I don't think he's priority at all. I'm mostly just playing Brett Sullivan. He doesn't even have to be in Padres stacks for me. Like, it's just a great punt the catcher day anyway. So give me the guy for the Padres.
Okay, very good. Take me to first base, Cheese.
First base is pretty great. We already mentioned on FanDuel we do have Alonso added in.
Doubling up. Yeah.
We also have Bryce Harper's first base eligible on FanDuel.
Is this his first game back, or yesterday was his
first? He came back yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah, Alonso, Harper. We got Freddie Freeman. We mentioned the Christian Walker thing, who's a little cheaper than those guys. Matt Carpenter, cheap. There's a lot to like here. It's a deep position. Walker is my favorite with price considered. Alonso on FanDuel is my second favorite. Those are kind of the one-offs I'm mostly playing, and then anything in a stack is going to be great. But yeah, there you go. Christian Walker. He's hitting 4 home runs.
I feel like Walker and Alonso are amazing, but Harper, lefty-righty matchup against some kid named Stone who we have no idea if he's good, or maybe you.
So I think the thing is you can just play Harper in the outfield.
I see.
And still play Alonso or Walker.
I see. Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not really saying that much about him here.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. TJ, your thoughts at first? Same.
So Christian Walker is, my favorite. And on FanDuel, Pete Alonso is going to be coming in number 2 today. Can you tell that I read the musings this morning? Nathaniel Lowe is another guy that I like for tournaments today, as well as Matt Carpenter is probably going to be my third highest owned today behind on FanDuel would be behind Alonso and
this day is getting more
Walker.
Exciting by the minute.
But yeah, Matt Carpenter on DraftKings, like Carpenter falls in behind Walker for me, and then he's probably number 2, followed by a little tie for third with Freddie Freeman and Nathaniel Lowe. I do like going to the Dodgers today just because they're the Dodgers. And so if Nola happens to not be as good as he was last game and he kind of reverts back to the start of the season, it's a 4-game slate. I'm willing to take some extra shots on the Dodgers.
Okay, very good. Take me to second base, TJ.
This is kind of a spread out position for me today. It's mostly just going to be whoever I'm playing in my stacks. I think my favorite individual hitter is going to be Ketel Marte. I like Marcus Semien as well, but Marte is going to be my highest owned guy. And then following him, it's going to be the San Diego guys, Odor and Kim. I don't really want to play Odor. I kind of want to play Kim, but they're on San Diego, and so I'm going to be playing both of them. Semien is my fourth highest behind them, and then guys like Vargas, Stott, Dubon, just in stacks for me.
Okay, very good. Cheese, your thoughts second?
He said Dubon.
Dubon. Very good. Excellent pronunciation.
On FanDuel, Marte at 2,900 is kind of a steal. If you're not playing Cronenworth in Padres stacks, I think that's, or Kim, I think that's probably what you're doing. But it does make Mookie Betts interesting, where you can play him at second base, and he'll be kind of under-owned. On the DK side, Marte is wildly expensive, as is Semien, so I don't really like spending up here. I think, the nonsense Padres, I think, are the way to go. I do prefer Kim over Odor, but both quite playable.
Very good. Third base. Oh, and I did get a question, Cheese, real quick, from Adam. Any scouting report on the Arizona pitcher, and thus any love for Texas bats?
Yeah, so essentially one of the top pitching prospects in the league, borderline superstar already. Of course, it's his first start, so who knows? You can play a couple Texas bats, but he is like supposed to be even better than the Miller from yesterday, and better than Gavin Stone.
If he was on the slate, he'd be the chalk pitcher with Valdez.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Very good.
So at third base, it's okay. It's not like super top heavy, where I think like Muncy against Nola's probably the best guy, but it is an expensive guy against Aaron Nola. So on FanDuel, where Bregman is cheap, as much as I like Logan Webb and don't like picking on him, I do like Bregman. Alec Boehm interests me a little bit. Spencer Steer. I'm playing some Reds against Lugo just because we kind of run out of bats pretty quick. And once you took Machado out of this position, it kind of died. Like Machado was going to be the most popular player on the slate on both sites. And now third base is just kind of meh. So I'm more or less just mixing and matching guys in stacks at this point.
Okay. TJ, your thoughts at third?
Max Muncy is the guy that I'm taking the biggest stand on today, like I am with most of the Dodgers. He's going to be my highest owned guy, at like the only one over 20%. And outside of that, it's just only guys in stacks. And so I do like this Arizona stack. So Rivera and Longoria are two guys that I'm getting to. I don't mind a little Sosa or Jung or Steer or Senzel, even a little Alec Boehm, but Muncy is going to be the one that I'm taking the biggest stand on. And then Rivera and Longoria in Arizona stacks is my favorite for tournaments.
Very good. All right, TJ, your thoughts at short?
15 more likes for Spidey Bomb number 2. Let's bump it up there. Let's get up to 50 here. Nice early in the morning show. It's 11:40 for me, and it's in the afternoon, Eastern time. It's not early in the morning. Xander Bogaerts, obviously the top play here on DraftKings. You can play Mookie Betts, and so I'm getting quite a bit of Mookie as well. Trey Turner, Nick Ahmed, guys I don't mind, but Bogaerts is the top guy at this position by a mile. And then Betts and tournaments on DraftKings is somebody I like quite a bit.
Very good. Cheese?
Yeah, the sites are wildly different because of where they're putting positional changes. So you can play Tatis at shortstop on FanDuel, whereas on DK you can play Betts. So you have a good spend up. I think on FanDuel, you want to kind of go out of your way to play both Padres. Maybe you play Tatis in the outfield, or maybe you use the util spot. And then again, we have the Lindor thing there as well. You can also do a little Javi Baez if you wanted to on FanDuel. I don't know why you ever really want to play Tigers, but he is a little bit interesting there. On the DK side, there's a couple lineups I just ended up just needing to full punt any random position. So Duran at 2,400 is fine, or even Barrero at 2,300. But I would much rather play Chris Taylor or Nick Ahmed if you can get up at least that high. But with TJ, that if you have money, just play Bogaerts.
Okay, let's go to the outfield. Jeez.
All right, so we got a lot to spend up on. We've got Tatis and Soto. We've got Harper and Schwarber. We've got Alvarez and Tucker. We have Betts. That's a lot of high end. They're all kind of near 3,500 to 4K on FanDuel and up over 5, mostly near 6 on DK. So you can only get a couple spend ups if you're using Valdez. But I think the outfield ones are better than the other positions for the most part. I would go with Tatis first, Schwarber second, Harper third, Alvarez fourth. But really, these guys are all just great, and you kind of mix them and match them as you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
When you start scrolling down on DraftKings, I'm playing some Reds guys again, like Friedel and Fraley. They're always interesting. Even Nick Senzel and Fairchild. It's a lot of Reds bats, which seems weird, but they just kind of fit everywhere. Otherwise, the cheap stuff is pretty much just in a stack. Guys like mid-tier, like Gurriel and Outman, are interesting. I think Trent Grisham is kind of probably going to end up chalky just because of his salary. And I like him, and he's leading off, and it's great. But that anytime you see someone like Trent Grisham as chalk, it's kind of weird. So I don't want to just say that I love it. Okay.
TJ, your thoughts on the outfield?
I'm a little higher on Grisham. He's going to end up being my highest owned outfielder today. He's got a 44% hard hit rate to start the year against righties, leading off with so many great bats behind him. You just hope that he can get those singles, and he should be getting a lot of runs tonight. Tatis and Soto, I have 39% Grisham, 38% Tatis, 37% Soto. Like, that's kind of how I'm
TJ says Trent Grisham is 1% better than Fernando Tatis, and I agree.
Yes, quote it, put it in. He's the new Whit Merrifield. Mookie Betts, I really like as well for tournaments. Like I would probably rank them Padres 1, Alvarez 2, Betts, but I'm playing mostly him at shortstop on DraftKings anyways, and then Alvarez, then Schwarber, then Harper, then Tucker is kind of how I'm rolling with them today. The only players I have over 30% of are Padres, and then like Alvarez, Schwarber, Tucker. Harper. I'm trying to get the 10 to 20% of all of them.
Okay, good stuff. Geez, anything you want to add here, or would you prefer to do your very favorite thing and give me a home run pick?
It's my very favorite thing. I won't just, it is Christian Walker, but we've already Spidey bombed that, so I'll give you something different. I'm going to try to go just kind of something weird and off the board, and I will give you a little Spencer Steer.
Okay, very good. TJ, how close are we to Spidey Bomb number 2? We better be there. I feel like we should be there.
14 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 2. We need a few people to grab their mouse and slide it over, click that like button. If they're watching on their phones, click hide chat, then click the like button. A couple times lately on YouTube, when I've logged into the page, the likes and the amount of people watching, they actually weren't even there. And so I had to refresh for it to pop up. So that could be a thing for some people as well. Make sure you do that. Hit the like button, and we got another Spidey Bomb at 50 likes.
Okay, very good. Let's dive into a few QQs. I think we've got DK lock coming up in a little bit, but we'll just take some questions until they dry up and kind of call it, not call it a day because we'll be back later today, but call it a show. Let's get to a couple of these questions here. Alfredo, wonderful name, says Philly stack, nay or yay? What say you, Cheese?
Yeah, they're like we've said, pretty much everything after the Padres is essentially a tie. But the Phillies are very, very viable, and we have no idea what Stone's going to do in his first start. And basically, he has a bunch of strikeout ability, but he's pretty wildish too, which that can lead to some big innings. So yeah, it's a yay.
Very good. L21 says your favorite SP2 in a small field GPP on DK. TJ, you get to pick that one. Your favorite SP2 small field DK GPP.
If you need somebody cheap, it's Stone. If not, it's Webb.
Very good. I'm just gonna scroll. Where'd everything go? All right, here we go. Back up the Discord here, and I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. And Soto or Harper on FanDuel. So you guys kind of addressed this. If you got to pick one, Soto or Harper on FanDuel.
Soto.
Cheese. Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
Soto plays with Padres.
Yeah. Okay. FanDuel Cash, there's a 3v3. Cheese, this one's coming to you. Harper, Longo, Turner, or Walker, Bregman, Soto?
Walker, Bregman, Soto.
Very good. Ink Magma says DKGPP, your best stack to win a single entry GPP. TJ, give me your favorite stack if you're trying to take down a single entry today.
Arizona.
Very good. Cheese, you have a different thought?
Cincinnati.
Ooh, very good. Okay. Ryan says if you play 20 plus lineups, you probably will get like every stack on this small slate.
Yeah, maybe not the Giants, but definitely every other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just X'd out the Giants completely in my 150.
Yeah. Guys, we have done the thing. We've given out the info and we've taken all the questions, and the questions have dried up. We're going to give one little final push. TJ, how close are we to another Spidey bomb? It'd be a good way to end the show.
2 likes away for another Spidey bomb. Let's get 2 more people clicking that like button, and I got it for you right now. Spidey bomb number 2 is Max Muncy. Now, I don't really love his home run odds for to hit a home run today, but I do love him from a DFS perspective, coming in at only about 10% on DraftKings, and then over on Fanduel sub 20%. I really like Muncy today. And then there are just so many Dodgers that I think have great home run odds today. Muncy's not one of them, but Mookie Betts you can get for plus 450 on Caesars. James Outman you can get for plus 600 on FanDuel today, our wonderful sponsor. So that's kind of where I'd be looking to from a betting perspective. Same thing, like Freddie Freeman at plus 490 on Caesars. I like that a lot. But the fact that Max Muncy is only plus 310 over on FanDuel, and he's not picking up all that much ownership from a DFS perspective, makes me really like getting to him in tournaments.
Okay. Very good. Cheese, anything you want to say before we close on out? We have answered all the questions, and I'm putting the pressure on you.
You really are. Yeah. Anything that I want to say?
You can say anything. You can be like,
yeah,
I'm going to.
There is something I want to say. So I had to drive to Birmingham for the weekend, bring my son home. And sometimes when you drive to Birmingham or anywhere really for a couple hours and you're by yourself, you're looking for podcasts, like, what should I listen to? This interesting. So I decided to go really start figuring out what's going on with this Loch Ness Monster character. And I've learned some things. So I think we're going to be learning more about that as the season moves on. It's definitely a thing. Like, there's no question. I'm starting to try to figure out exactly what kind of thing it is. Is it really a dinosaur, or is it maybe kind of basically a big snake? But it's a thing. And I'm pretty excited about sharing some details with you as we move on.
What interests me here is that on a podcast, you can't see the visual evidence that these people are talking about.
Right. So, but to me, that's even better, because if you see it, you are biased by what you see. When you have someone explain to you the details of a sonar and what they're seeing, when like you don't look at it and get this bias, oh, look at that big green blob, that's a thing. But someone explains to you like the size and shape and speed, then like you're less biased. I'm not biased at all. It's just a real thing. And I'm excited to go swim with it one day.
Okay. Of all of the weird conspiracy things, like the Loch Ness Monster being a real thing is low on my list of things that could be real, but you may be able to convince me by the end of the season.
Yeah. Oh, I will. And that's something we're going to do.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Okay. I think we are going to get on out of here. TJ, wish you a speedy recovery, my guy. And I hope you can get out to, whatever nerd convention you're attending.
Just to a movie. Just trying to get to a movie tomorrow.
But hey, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorites. Like, I'm very excited about this.
And so next time you need a podcast, Cheese, you can check out the Agents of Fandom podcast, because our last episode is a Guardians of the Galaxy primer. And our next episode that'll be dropping Monday will be our Guardians of the Galaxy review.
Okay, so I can listen to this one before I go to the movie. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like we'll talk about the characters who are going to be in the movie. Everything's completely spoiler free because we haven't seen it, and just stuff like that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm quite excited about that movie.
There you have it. Okay, with that, we are going to get on out of here. So for Cheese, for TJ, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you later on today. You have been crushed.